Totally switching gears, a question that came in from Betsy is, do you have any advice for how one can manage or consider the interview process during the current circumstances? When returning to school in the fall is uncertain. Betsy, uncertain is the best way to say it because it is such a huge question mark.
Nice way to say it.
Yeah, exactly. In an industry where working in the office is the norm, is it reasonable to even attempt a job change where you may need significant flexibility without your performance or others' perception of your performance suffering?
Well, that's a loaded question.
It's a good one.
I mean, I guess my response to that, what do you have to lose? You know, I mean, why not take a shot and interview? I mean, again, it might not happen, but why not lay it all out on the table? Say what you need, say who you are, like be vulnerable, put it out on the table. Who knows? Some companies are definitely not interested in that and not interested in people coming in and saying, I need I need this, I need flexibility. Some companies are definitely not going to be interested, but the right fit is. And right now, everyone needs a little bit of flexibility, even if you have all the supports in the world. Right now, we all, and the way I like to think about this, I had a really great analogy told to me that I thought was so genius, that like right now we're starting with a cup half full. So, and everyone is, and I don't care who you are, like everyone is. And so any stress or anything that's going in that cup is more quickly the cup is more quickly overflowing than it has in the past, because we're not starting from an empty cup. Yeah. So I kind of think that as you're interviewing people that are acting from the past, like acting with the mentality of the past, probably are not the types of companies you want to work for anyway. So what do you have to lose? I don't know if I answered that well, but.
No, that makes sense. And Betsy, feel free to unmute and jump in if you want. The second half of her question is something that we've been hearing a lot on Kunik amongst people, and that's the perception question. So that gets into this out of sight, out of mind. Will working moms be the last people back into the office? What will that do around perception and performance? You know, right now we're seeing people who aren't able to work at certain, I mean, I right now had to grab my husband to do this while he was on another call. How do you recommend that people deal with or don't deal with or think about or don't think about this perception issue as it relates to what was, you know, the myth of the best worker and what's now slowly shifting, but taking time to change into this idea of output over hours?
Excuse my language. Perception's a bitch. It really is. I mean, it is such a pain in the butt. And unfortunately, we have to deal with it. Can't kind of ignore that. We do have to deal with it. And I think this is a great question. You know, it's up to us to work on managing the perceptions around us and people's experiences of us. It's a nice fantasy to say, well, that's what they're thinking. But in careers and in our own leadership development and in our own trajectory, people's perceptions do matter. So it is up to us to remain relevant. Even if we have to take some time off, it is up to us to help people remember who we are and how we contribute. Again, even if you need to take a little bit of a sabbatical and take off, it's up to us to manage that perception and to raise your hand occasionally and say, wait, I'm still here and I'm coming back. And the way to do this is relationship management. You know, just because you might have to sign off for a little bit or take a little sabbatical doesn't mean you fully 100% neglect the relationships in your life. And the work relationships that you have are important relationships. So keeping in touch with people, checking in on people, making sure that you carve out a little time in the time off that you're taking to keep in touch helps stay in people's mind. It's up to us to manage that perception.